Yeah, there's a lot of very funny things happening in our country, and a group seem to have gotten control of the education system. The Ministry of Education, or Department of Education, is almost a ministry of bent propaganda, and I'm using that word bent in the wide meaning, whereby everything is twisted, and they seem to have breached our defences, and from within they're trying to take over the minds and morals of our young people, of our future. And I think quite a lot of the education system has actually turned into a kind of propaganda machine for the far left. I think it's known as the Frankfurt School, and you will probably know more about the Frankfurt School than I do. But they're trying to twist the minds and the morals of our youngsters. So, for example, in Rotherham you have 1,400 young girls who have been regularly raped by Mohammedan men, and instead of going on about female rights, as they ought to in that particular instance, they're going on about, well, I'm not a racist kind of thing, because at least I put up with gangs of foreign predators. So the minds and the morals of the young are being enlisted for a programme to destroy our country, our education system, our mind, and the welfare of our young people, who are, of course, the future. And they want to sort of churn out lots of young people as obedient machines, Labour Party voters, for perverts and perversion. Now, obviously, I go into schools and teach, I nearly said preach. I go into schools and teach as a normal person. And a lot of us who are in schools are, of course, perfectly normal. But occasionally we come across perverted curricula that may not actually be written down, but it's kind of understood. And sometimes we inadvertently cross these boundaries, and that's what I did. I was asked at a certain school in Grantham to teach A-level students the Crusades. And there's quite a story in this. And apparently I said things that were what they say is inappropriate. Well, you know, if something's inappropriate, it's not worth bothering with, is it? Really, it's minor. So I got a letter the 5th of December 2013 from the National College for Teaching and Leadership, which says, I'm quoting from this letter, "Dear Reverend West," blah, 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 but basically it comes down to this. In executing this role as the regulator for the teaching profession, on behalf of the Secretary of State, the National College for Teaching and Leadership has considered the referral from the school and college in question and has decided that a formal investigation should be started in relation to the following matters: that you are guilty of unacceptable professional conduct and or conduct potentially bringing the profession into disrepute, in that 1, you made inappropriate comments of a racist and offensive nature during history lessons at a certain school and college on the 8th of November 2013. And that's the first point. The second point is your affiliation with the British National Party, brackets BNP, is a contradiction of the Teachers' Standards 2012, specifically Part 2, Personal and Professional Conduct. Teachers uphold public trust in the profession and maintain high standards of ethics and behaviour within and outside school by, quote, not undermining fundamental British values, including democracy, the rule of law, individual liberty, and mutual respect and tolerance of those with different faiths and beliefs. Now, I've been dealing with this for about a year on and off, and what I've managed to do is I've managed to rubbish their complaints about comments of a racist nature. So they were arguing that I'd made racist comments or racial comments. And my case was due to be had before the NCTL in November. And Patrick Harrington, Solidarity, has stepped in as my advocate, and he's managed to put the case off more because they were basically trying to steamroll me. And he's used his practical expertise Patrick Harrington, and he's been excellent on this, and he's not here at the moment, but he's obviously got the practical expertise that I haven't, and he's obviously more of a distance, so he can deal with my case more objectively. So he's managed to kick it into April, and the hearing should be in April, whereby I'm alleged that I have made disrespectful or intolerant remarks, roughly about Mohammedanism. And I was teaching the Crusades, so you've got to give both views. So I had to give the Christian view of Muhammad, okay, which I was happy to do, and I have to give the Mohammedan view of Christianity, which I'm happy to do, because when it's teaching, you give both sides. But the students were sort of drummed into thinking that if you gave the Christian view of Muhammad, you're being intolerant, and if you're giving the Mohammedan view of Christianity, that's okay. And it's because I gave both sides. In other words, I was a proper teacher, not an indoctrinator, that I'm before this leadership college to be, and the penalty is to be banned. So they're like sort of holding the sword of Damocles over teachers. So unless the teachers give a one-sided misrepresentation of the facts, a teacher can be banned from teaching, and therefore all the teachers are dragooned into giving far left views, and they're being dragooned into giving pro-Mohammedan views, which is an attack on core British values, if you think about it. It's an attack on core British values. Whilst they're saying they're upholding core British values, it's an attack on democracy, liberal democracy, because Islam does not respect liberal democracy. It's an attack on the rights and privileges of women as equal to men, because of course Mohammedanism doesn't respect that. It's an attack on everything Britain stands for. And unless the teachers are willing to be dragooned into giving very bent views of history to indoctrinate our young, then the teachers will be dismissed or banned. So it's an attack on our democracy, so I think we should make as much publicity about this, because Britain is not simply about who we are. Britain is also about what we stand for, and we fought for a liberal democratic society and a parliamentary democracy as well as a national homeland. So 3 cheers for Patrick Harrington, please. Thank you.